Hi everyone, Frank here. First off, we'd like to wish all of the working women of the world a very happy International Women's Day. Secondly, we'd like to remind you that Season 4 of Tiny Tales begins next Monday. We're very excited about this upcoming season because we're going to be collaborating with some awesome artists. And your support helps make that possible. We're not always able to pay our collaborators, but when we do, it's because of support from our fans and our friends and our family. So visit tinytalespodcast.com and click membership for more details. Patrons gain exclusive access to Tiny Tales soundtracks. And speaking of soundtracks, head over to our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/The Tiny Tales Podcast. And if you're already there, hi, for a brief video in which I take a deeper look at music from one of my favorite episodes of Tiny Tales, Day 65. So, Day 65 was a lot of fun to make. I really loved the story, and I'm not going to play the voice from the episode, the narration from the episode that Rachel did, but I am going to talk about some of the music and my thought process and creative process behind it. So the story is it's pretty multifaceted, but one of the main issues is finding drinkable water in this community. And you have to go listen to the episode. It's really good. But that's one of the main issues. So that when I was thinking about making music for the episode, that immediately made me think of the piece Jadot by Maurice Ravel, the French composer. And this is the music for that piece. And Jadot, if I'm not mistaken, which I might be, it means water games in French, water games. And so I thought about what I could do with this music, manipulating this music to create a backdrop for the episode. And so what I did is I manipulated a recording I made of the music, and then I sort of extracted some melodies from the music to create new melodies and new parts. So this portion of the music here, I'll show you what that sounds like. So that sounds like this. This is just the first little tiny bit of the music. This is what it sounds like. So, I mean, the music's the name of the piece is Water Games, right? And I don't know. It's just, I don't know if you would get this without the title, but just that first measure alone, it's very bubbly, right? Yeah, it's evocative and can make you think of water. But again, the title is Water Games, so maybe you wouldn't think that without the title. But that's neither here nor there. So what I did was I took that recording and I fed it into these really awesome applications, made by Juan Park, who I've talked about before, and he is just this brilliant composer and just audio producer, engineer, and he creates these awesome applications. And I used two of them to help me make this episode. One of them is called Simple is Opposite of Easy, which is awesome. You drag a file into it. It could be anything. It could be the sound of a chicken. It could be a motorcycle, or it could be a song. So I put in the music from Jadot into Juan Park's application, Simple is Opposite of Easy. And that gave me, I did a bunch of tinkering, but essentially what it gave me was this really awesome sort of rhythmic loop, which I used to build some of the climaxes of the episode. So here, listen to a little bit of what came out of that. Yeah, so it's just like this. I mean, it sounds totally unnatural, but you get that sound of the piano and you get that loop. Yeah, so I think that's really, really fun. And I knew that I was going to be able to make something with that. I knew I'd be able to make something with that because I'm a very rhythm-oriented person. So to get something like that from putting the song, putting that piece into that application, I was like, ooh, this is going to be awesome. I know I can do something with this. And then the other application is called the Mini, which is a reverb ambient generator. As you can see, it says that here. So what you do is it's the same thing. You could put in a motorcycle, you can put in the sound of a car, you can put in the sound of a cat, or you can put in music, and it will take portions of that audio file and blow it up and create this really amazing reverberant pad. And so I did that with Jadot. And here is some of the sounds I got from there. Oh, and the other thing I wanted to mention was you can actually change, you can randomly change the pitch of the inputted, how do I put this? You can change the pitch of the sound which is put in to the application. So, you can set it to a minor key. So, if you put in this sound, do, and you set the pitch set in the application to minor, you could let that go on for 3 hours and you might get do, and then you might get do, because it's minor, do. That's a thing you hear in a minor key. So, and there's a major pitch set, there's microtonal pitch sets. I forget which one I used actually. I think I might have used microtonal just to kind of keep the sound mostly the same, but I don't know. I can't quite recall. Anyway, let's listen to that reverberant pad that was created with Juan Park's Mini application. And it's actually how the episode starts, is with that pad. It's very quiet. Turn your speakers up. It's just so gorgeous and ethereal, which I think worked really well for the episode again, because the community that is sort of struggling to find safe drinking water, it feels like it could be on another planet, or it could be on sort of a post-apocalyptic or a post-human Earth kind of thing. It's not really clear, which I love. So then that combined with, with the rhythmic loop from earlier gives us this sound. Here, let me go back a little bit and turn these up a little bit. Yeah, so you hear that pad in the background. So, just based on those two sounds and ideas, I kind of built everything around that. And like I said earlier, I took some melodies out of the piece, the original piece. Like, for instance, I created this sort of keyboard synth sound here. And what you're hearing here is essentially... I don't remember where it is in the piece, but it's just something I pulled from the piece. Maybe I'll be able to tell you more clearly when we hear it, but here's what it sounds like. This is just something from the piece that I re-recorded on kind of a synth keyboard sound. Yeah, so this is essentially the opening, I think. Yeah. So, and there's other parts of the music where I do something like that. I pull a melody out of the music to create something new. I'm a big fan of sampling, and people might poo-poo on it and say, you're not creating something new, but being creative, I tell my students this, isn't necessarily about thinking you have to create something brand new out of nothingness. It's about taking everything you know and all of your experiences and synthesizing that into something new. And one way you can do that is to take something you already know and plug that into a process, or pull even just a couple of notes. Pull a couple of notes and go from there. Yeah. So what I'm going to do now, now that I kind of gave you the lowdown on how the process went, I'm just going to play through the music so you can hear it. And this is a little bit of a taste of what you'll get if you become a patron. You'll have access to the original soundtrack music for each episode, so you can enjoy the musical parts of the show separate from the show itself. Not all the music works, to be honest, to just listen to on its own, but I think this is one of the better examples of something that does sound good, even without the amazing story on top of it. And even the pieces that don't sound great on their own without the story on top of it, it's kind of interesting to hear it by itself and hear how it fits in with the story when it's not with the story. I don't know, I find that kind of thing fun. So if you do, please consider becoming a patron. So without further ado, let's listen to the soundtrack from Day 65.